All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Dicey D20. My name is Noah, joined by our players.
I'm Josh.
I'm Sab.
And you got your boy Jay Ness.
And we're playing a very special edition of a homebrew world of Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition for you guys here. So let's begin with Josh. Each player is actually going to describe their background, a little bit about themselves for you guys, so you're just as oriented with the game as we are. So take it away.
All right, so my name is Tyson McKay. I am a slave now. I was kidnapped from my village along with my mother. The village ran just along the Ash Mountain range. The Ash Mountains are breathtaking and powerful. I used to love climbing them as a child. They made me feel safe even when dangling from 100 feet in the air. Unfortunately for us, the village was a target for the scum of the earth, the foul beasts known as the hobgoblins. One night a few weeks ago, a small band of hobgoblins attacked the village. Many of the men, including my father, fought back. Before I could volunteer to help, my father pushed me aside and told me to guard my mother and our home. That was the last time I saw him. The hobgoblins were too much for them, and one by one they began to fall. The last fighter had fallen. The hobgoblins began to kidnap the women and children. I tried fighting back, but the hobgoblins surrounded me and knocked me out. When I woke up, I was in shackles beside my mother. Looking around, I saw the rest of the captured villagers, some beaten and bloody. Most were crying. My mother told me the goblins were taking us to their camp and to use us as slaves. And this is where my story begins.
Okay. Emotionally powered.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Really, I've got tears in my eyes.
Jane S is crying.
Someone give me a Kleenex.
Okay, so let's begin. Josh, or should I say Tyson McKay, welcome to the world of Norian. You find yourself in chains and shackled, hands and feet, to prisoners both in front of you and behind you. At the very front of the troop are two hobgoblin warriors or scouts. They're both equipped with bows. Look to be some pretty jagged looking swords, so
Ooh,
that could be
kind of want one of them.
We'll get there. On either side of you, there are two small goblins. Now, they're a lot shorter than the hobgoblin companions. Every once in a while, you hear them like snuffling and snorting about. And at the back of the party, there is just one more hobgoblin standing at the back. He's got a bow which is drawn, and it looks like he's ready to take out anyone who tries to hop out of line.
Little trigger happy, eh?
Now, the scene that you find yourself in is a very expansive mountain range. You guys are walking along a path cut into the mountainside. The stone is like immense and gray in color, and there's lichen covering a fair amount of the rock around you. You hear the sounds of rocks tumbling down as your feet like shuffle across the path. There's the odd time where the hobgoblins will shout and spur on people who fall behind or fall down to the ground.
The weak, we call them.
Oh gosh. See, I thought you were full of emotion.
Yeah.
The scene that you see in front of you is actually quite picturesque. You're actually looking over, well, you don't know the name of it because you're from the Ash Mountains, which are fairly far to the north, but you're looking over Rofton Moor, which is a very expansive marsh, an infertile bog, which human beings often don't enter due to myths and legends that they've
It probably
heard about
smells bad too.
I mean, yes. So you guys are right now on a protrusion of the crags, which extend from the Narramoon's spires.
Okay.
An area that's frequented by hobgoblins and other treacherous types of creatures. It's about mid-afternoon when the hobgoblins stop and hold up their hand, and the shuffling ceases. The clinking of chains still sway as the people like try and remain on their feet. And they announce that they're going to be having like a 5-minute break. So the one hobgoblin shouts out, "Take a break!"
Okay. I look around to see what the other captured people are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you look around, the other captured people appear to be taking a break.
Like sitting down?
No, yeah.
Okay.
No,
I don't know if there's water or food or anything. So.
No, you're on a mountainside. They haven't given out any food either. So yeah, you hear the clanking of chains as you all plop down to the ground. The people both in front of you and behind you look pretty thin and emaciated. Looks like they've been on the road for quite some time. And everyone appears to be pretty melancholy, Schell. Pretty sad. Not happy at all.
I guess I will try and look for my mom, see where she is.
Okay. I would make you roll a d20, but she's very easily visible. She's right in front of you.
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah. She her eyes are sunken and her skin seems to hang off of her bones. She's pretty elderly woman.
Jesus.
And it's
Mom.
not like the hobgoblins have been treating anyone really kindly. It's not really their bit.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. Comfort her.
Okay.
Put my arm around her.
All right.
With as well as I can with my chains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roll me a d20.
Okay. That's 4.
Okay. So you try and put your arm around your mom, but everyone's hands are obviously linked together, Josh. So you kind of yank the guy beside you. He's like, "Hey!" And that one of the hobgoblins comes over. He's like, "What's going on over here?"
Nothing. Just trying to move around a little bit.
We don't need you to move around a little bit. It's break time.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. I guess I'll sit down then.
Okay, so very polite response to the hobgoblins. I like it. So the 5-minute break seems quite short. The hobgoblins they're in physical condition, right?
We took a quick 5. I gotcha.
Yeah. They quickly begin to prod people with the butts of spears, and they also draw their swords and motion for everyone to You're laughing at butts, aren't you? Oh, God. That's our Bright Lord, everyone. Okay. You notice as you begin to stand that your mother is having difficulty standing.
Okay, I go to assist her.
Okay, roll me a d20.
Yeah. That's a 20.
Whew.
Better believe I assist her.
Not only do you assist her, you lift up 3 other people in the group. Yeah, you're now their hero.
I flex on them.
Okay, so you expertly lift up your mother and you help other people to get to their feet. And the hobgoblins come by to inspect everyone, but they find nothing wrong. So they usher and they motion for everyone to move forward. The day is long, and the afternoon seems to drag on slowly as you guys continue to walk along this mountainside pass. The Rofton Moor that you guys were looking at before is much more expansive than you had first realized. And the sun is hanging low in the sky. It's almost dusk when finally the lead hobgoblin points his sword forward towards what looks to be a cave of sorts. And he says, "That's where we'll be making camp for the night."
Looks comfy.
Okay, so one of the hobgoblin nearest to the back where you are says, "What did you say?"
I said it looks comfy.
It does look comfy. just agrees with you. Yeah, so he just agrees with you wholeheartedly that it does look comfy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Within the next 30 minutes, you guys do make it to the cave. It's now like fully dusk. The sun has disappeared, but it's not quite nighttime yet. And as you guys file into the cave, single file, the hobgoblins do what they do every night. So a fire is made and they all kind of sit around it, wherein there's one guard who watches all the prisoners who are kind of held in the other side of the cave or the corner.
Okay.
The scene is pretty...
So I won't be by the fire is what you're saying?
No, you won't be by the fire.
Well, I'm kind of cold.
Well, you're like 20 feet from the fire. You might feel something.
I mean, maybe a little bit of warmth.
No. I mean, mostly you guys just huddle together for warmth, as you do every night.
That.
As is customary, one of the hobgoblins comes around and throws a few scraps of bread towards the odd... You guys are a number of 16.
I grab one quick.
Roll me a dexterity check.
15.
Ooh... Just too slow. A small girl, you know her to be named...
God, I'm going to kick her ass.
You know her to be named Winfrey. She quickly darts and grabs one of the loaves of bread and kind of hides to the corner and starts to gnaw on it.
She eats it by herself.
Yeah, well, she's a child.
She's
trying to survive, Josh.
Are any of the other loaves available still?
I mean, yeah, they're in other people's hands, but they're available.
God, I asked someone else for a slice.
Okay, role play it for me and roll me a charisma check.
All right. Who else has bread?
It looks like the man to your left that you yanked earlier has a little bit of bread.
Oh, but I helped him up too, so he might.
Yeah, he could.
He might like me.
He might.
So I go up to him. I say, "Hey, sir, what's your name?"
Okay, roll me d20.
So I got 6.
Nice. A solid roll. He looks at you, his eyes greedily shifting back and forth from the bread to you. He tells you that his name is Jonathan, and that you've known him for much of your young adult life, as you grew up in the same village that he did.
I say, sorry, when I got knocked out there, I kind of, I lost a few.
Scrambled eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I understand. So he looks to you and remembers that you had previously helped him to his feet.
Yeah.
Breaking the bread You know how like when someone like breaks something in half or like cuts up a piece of pie in half, there's always one slice that's kind of larger,
Yeah.
and they take that
Yeah,
slice.
he definitely
does
took the
that.
larger
Yeah.
chip. Yeah,
He gives
okay,
you a
that's-
smaller
yeah.
but kind of half slice.
I will thank him for that,
Okay.
and I appreciate it.
All right, so you now have a small stale piece of bread.
Ooh, stale. It's not even my birthday.
the
God. All right, so I'm gonna break it into like half.
But one larger side than the other.
No, like try and evenly half it,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hand one to my mom.
Okay, roll me a d20.
5.
Okay, I mean it's a rough rip job, but I mean it works.
Oh, I mean it's bread. Jesus. All right.
You do succeed.
Okay, and then I proceed to rip the other piece of bread into thirds, and I hand it to 2 pieces to other people that don't have bread yet.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you hand a piece to an old elderly woman, and then
God, I already said I handed one to my mom. Okay.
this is a different elderly woman, and
Oh, shit.
and a pretty able-bodied looking man. He looks to be in his 40s ish, but
Okay.
you can tell he's a strong dude.
Could be good backup later.
Could be. He thanks you kindly with kind of like a rough voice.
Right.
Thank you.
I say anytime. I proceed to eat my piece of bread too, by the way. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
All right, so eventually the hobgoblins, after carousing, joking about, just basically telling stories of victory, war,
The boys,
bloodshed,
yeah.
all that, they start to head to bed. Got a long day tomorrow.
Exactly.
You got to walk.
A lot of hiking.
Exactly. So everyone starts to basically fall asleep. If you choose to do so, you may do so as well.
I make sure my mom is comfy, that she's like well fed and everything like that.
She's as well fed as she can be on
Okay.
stale bread.
Yeah.
She's also as comfy as she can be on our rock floor.
Okay. I'll head to bed as well.
Okay. So the night passes without incident, and as you guys wake fairly early, it's best to get a good start on the day, right? Before the sun's
Before it gets too hot.
high in the sky, exactly right. So it's quite early in the morning. It's actually still dark out when the hobgoblins begin to prod you guys again, ushering you to get up. This time, your mother seems to have even more difficulty standing.
God, Mom, I'm tired of carrying you.
Oh God, it's your mother.
All right, I try and help her. Again.
Mary has a hard time getting up. Real quick. Yeah, not looking good. One of the hobgoblins comes over and says, "What seems to be the problem here?"
I say, just 1 second. I'm gathering my things.
Roll me a deception check. You have no things.
That's a 10.
Yeah, no, he's smarter than that.
Oh, God.
He looks around and he points out. He said, "You have no things."
I have things. You just took them from me.
Okay, your mother still unable to stand, and she's kind of on her hands and knees now. The hobgoblin. No.
Don't talk about my mother that way.
All the jokes now will be about Josh's mother. Sorry, Tyson's mother. She's unable to stand, and the hobgoblin looks to the other hobgoblin and says, "She's of no use to us now."
I don't know. She's strong. Just she's a little tired in the morning. Gotta get her up.
Deception check.
That's 9.
Okay. They don't believe you. So
Sorry, Mom.
The one hobgoblin who appears to be the leader, he stands above the rest, a solid 3 to 4 inches, and his armor is rough and worn. There are several large scores in the metal from where arrows, swords, and the like have pierced it over his years of combat. He pulls his sword from its sheath, and it's a very jagged piece of metal, though very, very sharp. Walks over and looks to you in the eyes.
I said, hang on, sir.
So he looks at you waiting.
I will do the work of 3 men if you leave her.
So he looks to you and he says, "Oh, you will." And then his sword raises in the air and
it goes back in the sheath?
No.
Oh, God.
And comes down on your mother's neck, severing her head from her body.
I kill him.
Okay, your hands are in chains.
God, I'm trying.
So, if you tell me how you'd like to kill him, you can try, but you're bound right now.
Jesus.
So,
just try and break out, just bust.
Okay.
I'm pissed. This guy, I thought it was my brother.
This is a different hobgoblin.
I don't care.
But you're upset, you're angry?
I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Okay. Okay, so your body is filled with rage, and the hobgoblin's smile kind of falters on his face as he sees your eyes. The irises of your eyes cloud over with like a dark crimson red, and you begin to just breathe heavily. Yeah, exactly like that, until you eventually burst into flame. The manacles on your hands melt and fall away. And as you rise and stand, for a moment, you find yourself no longer in the cave where you were. The
Where am I?
hobgoblin doesn't stand in front of you. You can roll me a d20 if you'd like to.
Oh, yeah, I would like to know where I am. That's a 15 plus 5, so 20.
So you find yourself in a realm almost unimaginable. You've never seen anything like it before. The ground beneath your feet appears to be just loosely packed brimstone and flames. The land that you see in front of you is fiery red with eruptions and geysers of steam and heat. It's insufferably hot, but your body doesn't seem to be damaged or harmed by it in any way. In the distance, you see a very deep crimson sky with a tower that appears to be kilometers and kilometers away, but it's the only real construction of any kind that you can see on this plane. But just as you glimpse the world around you, you're brought back to the material realm, standing again in front of the hobgoblin boss, and everyone around you is staring in fear. The slaves look terrified, as for a moment, as do the hobgoblins and the goblins as well.
They should be.
Okay, as he sees this all go down, the hobgoblin looks to all his men. He says, "Quick, chain him!"
I punch one.
Which one? The closest one on the...
Yeah, the one on the left.
Okay, so a goblin comes up wildly to like rush and grab you. So you're just going to punch him in the face.
Yeah, I'm just going to deck him.
Okay, roll me a d20. Oh, we're also rolling initiatives now, so...
Yeah, 13.
Oh, so not very strong. Right?
No.
Yeah, so you do not hit the goblin. He's a little bit shorter than you're used to punching.
Shit.
So you kind of swing just above his head.
Okay.
But it is initiatives now. So we're going to be rolling for 3 hobgoblins and 2 goblins, as well as yourself. So
9.
Okay, so the hobgoblin in front of you that witnessed the whole thing, that just slayed your mother?
Jesus.
Slew your mother? Either one.
What'd you call my mother?
In fact, rolled a 20. So he leaps at you very quickly and attempts to slash you across the stomach with his jagged longsword. However, the longsword seems to melt as it comes near your body, and he's left with just a hilt of a sword, just raw iron, just dripping. And he looks confused.
I say, yeah bitch.
Call me Steve-O. Okay. Next up is the hobgoblin, which is off into the other. He's closer to the fire pit that has been doused by. And he runs over quickly and attempts to slash you with his sword. He has a short sword instead of a long sword.
God.
His sword too appears to melt as it touches your skin.
Ooh.
So that's 2 ones in a row.
God.
And I'm starting to.
I'm a god. I am a god.
You're level 1, but you could be a god. They're certainly confused, as am I by these rolls.
Okay.
So the goblin that you attempted to punch in the face attempts to punch you in the nuts.
Jesus, what a dick.
What's your AC?
12.
Nice, he punches you in the nuts.
Ah.
Yeah.
Needed that.
You only take 2 damage.
That's okay.
From the nut punch, but you can't help but feel hurt.
I mean, yeah.
It seems like a low blow.
Yeah, it is. Punch me in the dick.
Okay, it's now your go.
I was wishing his hand would burst into flames. So I'm going to roll for my spells right now.
Cool.
So I got 5, 5, and 3. I will. No, this really helped me.
Planeswalker, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay. Use my 3. It's Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
I whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of my choice can hear within range, racking it with terrible pain.
Oh.
The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage.
Holy.
And moves as far away as it can.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to choose that little bastard.
Just
punched me in the dick.
The goblin, eh?
Yeah, so he's got to roll
for a wisdom saving throw. Okay, I think it's safe to say that he fails.
Yeah, no, he failed bad.
Yeah, 5 minus 1 is 4.
Yeah, so I'm going to just roll for this little bitch.
If grade 12 mathematics taught
5, so he takes 10 damage.
Okay, so staggering away from you and holding his head, hearing this this weird sound. You're muttering
It's a melody. That only he can hear.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're singing it to him.
La 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 la.
Yeah,
God,
that's
that was-
enough to do 10
Yeah.
damage. So he backs away from you, holding his head, and then falls to the ground, and you see blood pouring out of his ears. You've melodically sang him to death.
Yeah.
So
Say that's for punching me in the nuts, piece of shit.
okay, everyone else, all the hobgoblins look to the small goblin. He's by no means the strongest of their number, but they're quite confused, needless to say, as to how you've melted your chains, disappeared for a moment to a different material realm, came back, and then you, without doing anything seemingly, you've murdered one of them.
I am Jesus. I have returned.
So there's another goblin. And
Yeah.
this goblin, instead of punching you in the nuts, attempts to stab you with a spear.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some would say. But he misses. He kind of like tries to get around the human slaves, which are all now like getting up and standing and trying to get as far away from the fight as possible. So he's trying to like fight his way through them. He's pretty short, and he ends up missing you with the spear stab. The other hobgoblin that rolled a 1 is going to skip this turn. He's just so not with it that he has no idea what's going on right
Okay.
now. He's pretty confused. But we're back up to the top with the hobgoblin leader, who throws down his hilt of a sword, draws a short sword.
God, he's got another one.
He has a long sword and a short sword.
Jesus.
Draws a short sword and rushes towards you, attempting to just stab you right in the stomach.
Okay.
And your AC is a 12, I believe,
Yeah, no,
right?
he hit.
Okay, so he does hit. But he only does 3 damage.
Well, we're down to half health here now. God,
Okay.
I was confident going into this.
Okay. Next up is another hobgoblin. He's the one who has he still has his no, he doesn't. His sword got melted as well. Fun fact. So he's gonna draw the dagger, which is the only other weapon that he has, and he's gonna attempt to stab you the only way he knows how. But he misses, unfortunately. So there is one more hobgoblin to go. This is the one who was over by the fire pit. He's got a bow and arrow. He was the one in the back of the troop that was watching everyone.
Gotcha.
So he's going to attempt to shoot you from across the cavern that you're in, but he rolls a 3. So he does not do that either.
Okay, good.
So we're back to you now.
Nice. Now I'm going to magically kill all these guys, I guess.
Okay, cool.
No, I'm going to go, the guy who shot the arrow at me, turn back, I'm going to point my hand at him, and I'm going to just pray a fireball comes out of there because I'm casting firebolt at him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So instinctually, this planeswalker is just throwing fire and murmuring melodic death words at people.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so I'm going to roll my d20. I rolled a 7.
From your hand, a firebolt erupts and launches across the cavern, lighting it up, not as much as when you burst into flame.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool as it splashes against the stone walls, not doing any damage whatsoever.
Okay, yeah. Was he scared at least?
Oh, he's terrified.
Good.
Yeah, he thinks that maybe if one of those hit him, that would be a big deal.
Yeah, no. Shit.
Okay, so next up is the only other goblin. The rest are hobgoblins. He attempts to stab you with a spear again, but he rolls a 6, so he doesn't do that.
Nice.
The hobgoblin who lost a turn last time now finally has an idea of what's going on, so he's going to attempt to slash you with a long sword, which he does not do.
Nice.
That's a 9. Yeah, they're an effective troop.
Yeah,
they're a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they're precise.
Hobgoblins are tacticians. A lot of people forget that. Okay.
I forgot that.
So we're back up to the top with Hobgoblin Big Boy. Seems pretty pissed. He attempts to slash you with a short sword, but that's a 4.
Okay.
So
I mean, hit one, you can't hit them all, right?
yeah.
So
I just think it's silly that he's missing so much. We got one more chance here, though. This is the bow dude.
Bow dude, okay.
To shoot you from across. He saw that firebolt and he's like, I'm making you my mark.
Okay.
And he attempts to shoot. However, 2 of his boys are now in the way.
Ooh.
So this is going to be a little bit of a difficult.
He's gotta curve it.
Well,
Like
he's got to wanted it.
He's got to wanted it.
Wanted it. You know
Okay.
the movie Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
They curve the bullets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were just saying want wrong.
He's gonna want the shot. Let's see what he gets going here. That is also a 4 plus 1. So that's That's
so
a 5.
He doesn't.
He
Didn't want
doesn't
his
hit
boys.
anyone.
Doesn't want his boys.
Well, he doesn't hit one of his boys, but he does hit a slave.
Ooh.
Behind everyone.
Hopefully it was that bitch that took the bread.
Well, let's roll to see if it is. It is.
Nice.
The small child still crumbs in the corners of her mouth.
Jesus.
And now blood.
She didn't even lick them up. My God.
She's a savage. She has a large hobgoblin arrow with black feathers protruding out of her chest.
Okay.
Yeah, so she died. Karma.
Exactly.
It is your
That's
turn.
exactly
now.
what it is. All right, so I just got chromatic orb, so I can.
You got chromatic orb.
Yeah, I rolled for the mana there.
Oh, cool.
So
How about you explain just in case people don't know, because Planeswalker is such a cool class, and just real quickly, big shout out to all the people who made the Planeswalker class.
Yeah, no, it's
possible. It's a
So-
homebrew. The guys at homebrewery.naturalcrit.com, Laura Findell on GITP forums, Brian Rosado was responsible for some of the art for the Planeswalker homebrew, as well as MTG Salvation and WotC, and all the people on those forums who review and kind of give their 2 cents to make that kind of stuff possible. Because this is an entirely homebrew campaign, guys. All of our classes, the entire world itself, is all brewed at home.
Some would say, yeah.
Some would say. So you have, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a hand of spells that you roll for each and every turn.
Yeah, so right now I have 6 spells that I have chosen out before battle. Each turn I roll, or at the beginning of the battle I roll 3 d6s, and whatever those numbers are, they correspond with the spell numbers I have, and then so those are the only spells I get to use at the time.
Yeah.
And so if I want to use a spell, I take the d6 away, and at the end of each turn, I get to re-roll 1 dice to get another spell back.
Or 2 if you use 2 spells.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can only use 1 right now anyway. But and then it refills every time, and then So I don't know if that made sense, but
yeah. Well, they can also check it out if you search Planeswalker homebrew. A bunch of stuff comes up. Super cool and interesting.
Yeah, really
style.
Really makes it random. Don't know.
Yeah,
what to
it
do.
kind of does randomize it.
Yeah.
Well, you're used to fighters and martial fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess,
so this is different.
A cool switch up.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
back to the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got chromatic orb now in that last mana roll.
I'm
going to use that. So basically I can choose any type of damage. So cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder.
Yep.
Obviously going to choose fire.
Well, you are a fire.
Seems to be the theme of the night. So I'm gonna make a ranged attack against. Let's do the big guy right in front of me. I'm gonna just hold my hand out at him, and I'm just gonna blast him right in the face. I think that's so.
Okay. Awesome. Roll me a d20.
Yeah. God damn it! So I got 7 there.
Okay. So a small 4-inch diameter sphere, silver sphere, appears in your hand, and with like the flick of your wrist, it quickly becomes wreathed in flame as this chromatic orb fireball like shoots forward the 7 feet towards the hobgoblin. It misses though, and splashes against the wall.
Well, hey, these are new spells. I'm just barely controlling them right now. You can't blame me, right?
I feel like no one in this fight is controlling
Yeah,
anything.
no,
right
we should
now.
just all walk away. I think that's what should happen.
Guys, you're missing your shots. I'm missing mine. Let's call it a day and just.
Listen, I'm gonna go walk a little bit, plains wise, and,
I get it.
we'll come.
So molten rock just slips down the cavern wall as you've like created a nice little hole there.
Cool.
But you've done again no damage to anyone.
Yeah, no, I got that part.
So next up is the small goblin with the spear. He kind of dances back and forth and snickers at you.
I've named him Greg. That is his name.
All right, so Greg snickers, and he stabs you with a spear, or at least tries to, and does so. Yeah.
I hate Greg.
He only catches you in the leg though, and does a grand total 1 + 2, 3.
Say, I hope no one else hits me.
Okay.
Oh boy.
What are we sitting at health wise now?
We're sitting at 2 health.
So Greg snickers again.
I hate Greg.
And then he kind of seductively licks the tip of the spear, tasting your blood.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Greg, I didn't know we were this close.
After Greg is the other hobgoblin with the long sword who was confused. Now he's in it.
Teddy.
Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all actually have names if you care.
No, I
to
just
know.
I give them their own names.
Okay, so he attempts to slash you with a long sword, but he rolls. Jesus, 4 is the theme of the night.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I mean, it's a 4+1.
Yeah, no, he's
Still not a hit, though.
I mean, pretty hard to hit me. I'm pretty still, not moving.
Top of the list now. It's the guy who
boy.
attempted to chromatic orb in the chest. Attempts to stab you. That's another 4. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Is that rigged?
I think so. This is a weighted dice.
Yeah.
If you want to check out weighted dice, you can always look at my website. I'm just kidding. It's the only way I play. This is actually ridiculous. So that's a 5. He also misses, leaving it up to the bowman at the back, firing off those notched arrows. He got a taste for blood now. He knows what he wants.
He didn't hit anything.
He hit the little girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The AC's 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then on 11 plus a 2. Yeah, that's a hit. It's only a short bow, though. So, there's a chance that it does.
I mean, yeah, there's a chance. Pretty sure I'm going down.
Josh is down.
Oh,
it only does.
Jesus.
It only does 3 damage.
Oh, only 3.
Yeah, 1 plus 2.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I said I only have 2.
Okay, so, Josh, you feel the arrow slam you pretty much smack dab in the chest, and your vision kind of fades to black, and the last thing that you see is the orc. Jeez.
Oh my
is the
God,
hobgoblin. I'm sorry. Is the hobgoblin leader standing above you, and he's quickly like pointing to the other hobgoblins and giving orders. But the last thing you see is his face before you fade to black. You're unconscious.
Yeah.
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 They kept you alive.
Oh,
they didn't want to just straight up. No. Okay.
That'd be a quick pod.